What's going on, the internet on a Friday afternoon? Good Friday. It's the first time streaming on a Friday afternoon, and I'm sure a lot of people weren't expecting it. And that's totally okay because I didn't really announce it much either. And I kind of figured in terms of my availability, my scheduling, and what I have to maybe say online that I don't get to say anywhere else because you know YouTube and X are the only sort of outlets that I have in terms of social media. But and I don't have time to make videos all the time. And as much as I try to talk about some things, I figure, why the hell not add another little Friday afternoon stream when it's probably the time I actually have the most freedom to talk about things at random. But there's been some interesting topics that have been floating around the internet that I haven't really had a chance to converse with people about, whether it be text messages and you know, a lot of us online are part of different group threads, and I have one of my own for Masculine Mondays and so forth, and it's just one of those interesting things where you have the opportunity to talk about more, and when it's your own show, and I don't have a solo show, so I thought, why the hell shouldn't I have my own show? Um, what's up, Goodwin? How you doing, bud? Buy your Nicolkin patch in the merch store. Yeah. um, yeah, this is my combination of Nick and Tolkien word combo for today because we're gonna be talking about probably something everyone else is gonna be talking about for I don't know a while up until this bloody movie's made for some dumb reason, which I don't think it ever should be made in the first place. But we'll get more into that in just a second here. Blue, my boy, how you doing? Sad reality is Biggie is pushing 70. He's not like eternal like Goldwyn. Yeah, Goldwyn. Goldwyn. I'm saying Goldwyn. Goodwin. I need you to share some of your eternal life with Viggo. Bring back his youth, so that way he can actually get back in the movie. Um, what? Biggie's dead. Who did it? Actually, don't tell me who did it. I don't want to be a part of that conspiracy theory. We'll save that for another channel. But there's an interesting play here, and I was on Scooby Pup's channel. Go check her out. Last Saturday, talking about the lot of news with Tolkien, and Colbert getting his own story, and of course with this Hunt for Gollum movie, it's an issue that I feel like a lot of us Tolkien fans are going to have moving forward, probably for the next few years now. And as if we didn't already have enough problems with the Rings of Power, now this is just more fuel for that fire of being against what Hollywood is doing, because they honestly don't know what they're doing. The problem with being eternal is you don't remain eternally young. That is true. And so just kind of keep getting older, and then you're like, yeah, I'm 1,000 years old, and then I still look like this. Yeah. But I mean, hey, if you look as good as Thor does as 1,000 years old, then that's not too bad. Cobra's crap is separate from Hunt for Gollum. I know it is, but it's just sort of in that same wheelhouse where, and I kind of said this on, I mentioned this briefly on Scooby Pup's stream when I was a guest on our channel. Colbert, as we're led to believe, is a fan of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. Now, how much of that is actually true, I don't know, right? I don't know if he's on his late night shows and he's got an earpiece that we can't see on his right side because he always looks at the guests this way, and then we don't know, if the answers are being put into his ear, or if he has cue cards, or what, or if it's all legitimate, and it might be, right? But what gives him the opportunity and the right? Why? Actually, I guess the opportunity is the fact that he's a plant and he's part of that whole illustrious group of Hollywood actors and stars and everyone who knows each other. But what gives him the right or the credentials to actually make this movie or be a part of it, right? Any different than, say, someone like myself who knows a lot about Tolkien and his lore and what goes into his logical thinking, the themes, the motives, right? And this is another good point. We had war the Rohirrim. Yeah, we actually never did. You never had the war the Rohirrim. You never had your car. You never had your horse. The that actually is a good, interesting, not segue, but point I want to make about war the Rohirrim. I'm actually making another video, but a bit of a longer form video that I don't usually make, but um, it's more so along the lines of how I would have written and what changes I would have made from the beginning about War of the Rohirrim if I was going to create something new in the Tolkien realm, pull from those appendices, how I would have done it right to honor Tolkien. Because that movie didn't honor anything, really. I was a Star Wars fan in my youth. Doesn't mean you want me to ruin that IP now. Right, exactly. And I feel like if Colbert was an actual fan, if Colbert was an actual fan, he would have said, we don't need to be making these movies because something like this hunt for Gollum is a moot point. We already know what happens. And you mean to tell me you're going to try and make an entire movie out of one chapter? I mean, I guess you could say, well, how can you make an entire movie about one part of the appendices? Like, say, Helm Hammerhand. Well, I think in that case, you can kind of go along with the storytelling and the creation. And again, try to be in the same vein that Tolkien was. But let's be honest, even if I gave my best effort, I'm still not going to live up to what I believe that Tolkien would look at my work and be like, buddy, you didn't do what needed to be done here. So you fell short. I think everyone would kind of fall short from the eyes of Tolkien. I mean, if you read the letters of Tolkien, that's proof enough. I mean, even his son didn't like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy because in his eyes it fell short. So, what honest what weird comparison saying falling short as on Good Friday. To say we all fall short of Jesus, but we've been demanding all the story from Sam's daughter. Lies. Yeah, I don't ever recall anyone ever saying, you know what would be a great story? If we put Samwise Gamgee's daughter at the helm and made her the focal point of an entire Lord of the Rings movie. But maybe that means Viggo Mortensen can come back because he'll be older, and we do need an older Lord Aragorn, right? But does that also mean we bring back John Rhys Davies as Gimli, Orlando Bloom, which he ain't going to be looking at that pristine as an elf that lives forever, right? Same thing with Liv Tyler. I mean, I think you might be able to get, something, past with her. But you get the other two hobbits, they're going to look old as well. And then who else are you going to kind of put in the entire, I mean, I guess you could put in Carl Urban as Éomer. You could put I'm blanking on her name for Éowyn. You can bring in David Wenham as Faramir, right? So it's like, yes, there are characters you bring in, but what does that ultimately give us? Nostalgia bait. Guys, look, the entire cast is coming back. It's just like this whole idea of this potential next, what would it be? The sixth movie for Pirates of the Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to say it. This is exactly the same point. Look, Johnny Depp's coming back. Orlando Bloom's coming back. Keira Knightley's coming back. You might bring back the same guy who played Davy Jones. I can't think of his name at the top of my head. You can't bring back Jeffrey Rush because you killed off Barbossa, who was arguably one of the best characters of that entire franchise that you dragged along too. But it kind of just would become the same. Oh, look, Johnny Depp's coming back, guys. Look, Viggo's coming back in this other movie. Like, we don't need other Lord of the Rings movies in this time frame. We really don't. We need to be going backwards and not in the same context that Rings of Power is, because that's just a different type of ass backwards. I'm gonna write additional Tolkien works. I hear the siren calling, Call of Hubris, Nemesis Cape. Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where as much as I feel like I'm well read with Tolkien, and I wouldn't even really say and call myself a scholar by any means, but when you obviously heard the old stories or rumors, the news articles that go back between like 5 years ago, 6 years ago at this point, I want to say, when the Rings of Power show was first kind of being mentioned, like, oh, here's the plan for all 5 seasons. And it's like, you have a Tolkien scholars be like, hey, okay, you're doing this wrong. This is not how Tolkien would do it. And then what happens? Oh, you're fired. It's like, oh, so you don't want to be honest about what Tolkien would say and how things should be written, right? Oh, okay. We'll do things the way everyone that is an actual fan will utterly hate and be disgusted by because, oh, Orc lives matter, and we need to see the Dark Lord Sauron cry. And we need to see Galadriel, who has a suit of armor and a sword, and is like hell bent with rage on finding and destroying Sauron, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly what Tolkien would love to see. And for the sake of Viggo Mortensen not coming back, it's kind of like how much technology is going to be used. Like, listen, I know Ian McKellen is great as Gandalf, and it's like, okay, well, he's as old as Aragorn is now when he first played Gandalf. Ian McKellen, that is. So he's obviously a lot older. Yeah, what's up, Jax? How you doing, buddy? Happy Friday. Have a good Friday to you. Ian McKellen being a lot older now, I guess that fits for him being an old wizard, despite this being, before Lord of the Rings happens. So he's going to look older before the first stories and the first movies that he actually starred in for Lord of the Rings. But people aren't going to say anything, right? Because the makeup, the effects, the aesthetics are going to fit him being an old wizard that is, arguably thousands of years old. So we're not going to see anyone argue about that. Now, Elijah Wood's going to look a little bit older, of course. But, makeup is probably going to make him still look like a young hobbit in Hunt for Gollum. But we're going to see the mocap from Andy Serkis, I'm sure. And I love Gollum and Smeagol, must have the precious my love, right? Love Andy Serkis. Definitely think he's one of the greatest mocap actors out there, and voice actors. Love the narration for the audiobooks. I have all of them. I have all 5 from Andy Serkis's narration. But this, and I don't know how much power or decision making Andy Serkis had with this with this casting, and saying, hey, Viggo, and we're just not going to be able to afford de-aging you. And I know people have their opinions on de-aging, right? Like, de-aging still sucks. Even though I'm like, Weta might be able to pull it off. Lucasfilm, we know Lucasfilm couldn't pull off a de-aging when they tried to de-age Mark Hamill, and then some random on the internet was like, hey, I de-aged it better. Here's a cool video. And, we need to hire you to do our de-aging for Disney. It's like the in Rogue One, they try to de-age Carrie Fisher, or not de-age her because she was gone, but make a younger, different actress look like Carrie Fisher, and then they brought back what's his face, Grand Moff Tarkin, right? So, yeah, I'm if Andy Serkis did have a part to play in the decision making of going, I don't know if we can afford to de-age Viggo here. And I'm like, but how much was he going to be in the damn movie to begin with? Like, how much was this runtime going to be? 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hour Hunt for Gollum movie? God forbid. Like, the story could be summarized in 15 minutes, not 2 hours. So how much time would he have actually been on screen here that you couldn't afford to de-age him? Or, do some fancy camera work, like you did with the original trilogy and the Hobbits, I guess, too, if you want to include them, where you utilize the cinematography, so it's not always kind of putting like him right directly on his face. You're like, man, like, yeah, Viggo's gotten a little bit older up there, Can't wait for Andy Serkis' Animal Farm Abomination. And when I forgot he was doing that until recently, and I was like, yeah, it's not going to be good. You know, and I made this point too. I think I was on Scooby Pup stream where I said, name a Andy Serkis film that was great that he's directed. Because if anything, I think he's been pretty mid, as the youth would say, for his directing. Yeah. Canny Valley Target. The benefit of Ian is he's looked 90 since 1975. Yeah, no, he obviously fits the role to a T, Blue, you know. Um Family Circus is greater than any circus. Yeah, right. You know, I have this Variety article pulled up for some dumb reason. Um which I know we all love Variety with their uncanny journalism and the sheer accuracy that they're so keen in telling us. Um, so we'll just take a little gander at it. Let me zoom in for y'all on here so it's not too bad, but and get rid of this privacy rights crap that we don't care about. Yeah, to be recast. Andy Serkis. This is one of the things right here that kind of I noticed, and I'm like, Andy Serkis says we're on the way to finding someone. And I think it was in some recent little article that said, or interview with Elijah Wood that says it was Leo Woodall. I think the name was. I'm like, never heard of him. So, you know, at least you know Viggo was in a couple different things prior to this. And again, nothing against whoever they find, but like the shoes you got to fill from a role-defining character for Viggo Mortensen. Because that Vex Electronic were talking about this the other night. You know, you have Viggo who turned, you know, he after this he does Hidalgo, then he does A History of Violence, then he does Eastern Promises, then he does The Road. I mean, and he's done a couple other like random movies that, to be honest, I haven't seen all of, but he's very selective because he cares about the art of acting. And then on top of that, then he does Green Book with Mahershala Ali, very good film. But yes, exactly, which he did before Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he played Lucifer, which yes, great job from Viggo on this. This is the gayest Tolkien movie. It might turn out to be, honestly. It's like, I hope this movie is so bad that they don't decide to make Andy Serkis's. Sorry, they don't decide to make Colbert's movie. But you know, that's wishful thinking. I don't even bother to put in my head because we know for a fact. I think it's safe to say that we're definitely going to get a Colbert movie. And we're going to roast it. And we're going to make videos of it. We're going to be talking about it quite often. Yo, boosh! Afternoon, my dude. Hope you're doing well, man. The Road wasn't that. That was a really sad and depressing movie. Or am I thinking a different one? Yes. It is also a very good book. If you haven't read the book, read the book, which is equally depressing. I've never read the book. I've only watched the movie, but our friend Papa Pumpkin, the Gourd King, we talked about it on a show maybe a month ago or so, and he was telling me that he read the book, and he was like, "Man, I feel so depressed right now." Like it's like you need to have a palate cleanser ready, which I definitely think you do even for the movie. So. I do plan on covering it on Masculine Mondays, because I think it's going to be a good movie to talk about. But I might read the book before that, not so much to do some sort of comparison, but just to kind of have, you know, just that extra idea of what was, you know, being written first in the book to see maybe if anything's changed. Not that it really matters, but yes. Yeah, what's up, Ronan? Yeah, dude. might make this a recurring thing. Fridays are my easier work days that like I have the privilege of just getting in extra work or being like, you know what, I'm gonna take half a day because I work hard the other 4 days of the week. So you know, um, this is yes. Actually, I lied. This is actually all pre-recorded. We don't need or want this, especially because of Colbert. Because when I think of Lord of the Rings, oh yeah, I think the vaccine, right? And that's the problem. Like you're gonna try and convince us to go watch your movie when all of your um, politics were thrown in our face, and we were called a certain way. These are the same people you expect us to spend our money to go watch your shit, right? I don't think so. And I was kind of mentioning this earlier. He might want to adhere to the book and the source material as much as possible. Like if Cobra's like, listen, I don't want to create anything that's not there. Okay, sure. But it's going to be hard to kind of think about the other things you said and not to politicize it, right? Because even if he said like, look, I'm not going to put any sort of, agenda into this or whatever, but it's like, but who the hell wants to talk about Sam Wines' daughter? Because again, there are other stories to tell. Tolkien himself was going to create another book that goes into the fourth age, right? After Aragorn is gone and his son takes over. That was going to be the premise of this next book, into the fourth age, where peace in Middle Earth has gotten stagnant. People have just grown tired of it. And then you have, I guess, weirdos of Middle Earth that would have started to worship Sauron. And you had these cults. And, yes, there were leftover orcs and so forth that, Gimli and Legolas, they hunted down and whatnot. But how much of that can you make into a movie even too, right? But Tolkien realized that doing this was actually depressing him. And he realized that this shouldn't have been created and scrapped the entire thing and said this would actually undermine the entire War of the Ring. And it's like stopping yourself before it's too late and stating that this idea is actually more harmful than not. And I was mentioning this the other night where there's again these great letters that Tolkien responded to and roast people very professionally. But there's the idea of like the letters and talking about why things shouldn't exist, or why certain things shouldn't be done. And one of Tolkien's statements is, a story must be told or there will be no story. Yet it is the untold stories that are the most moving. And this speaks to the inherent tension between storytelling and the allure of mystery. So by leaving parts out of a untold narrative, Tolkien himself understood that the imagination of us, the audience, the viewers, could fill the gaps. And that often creates something even more poignant and compelling than a fully detailed movie or story. The problem is that most of the people on the internet and people in Hollywood lack the ability to imagine or create something in their minds that fills up the gaps. And that's good enough. It's not so much creating our own headcanon, but there's like a logical way of going and thinking like, oh, you know what? War of the Rohirrim, Helm Hammerhand. Oh, God, from what we know that Tolkien tells us, he has two sons and they died in battle. One died from, the harsh winter and it killed him. Yeah, he had a daughter and he tried to marry off to join families, try to be positive. Didn't work out. There was a war. And his son, Freylaf, is the hero. And then becomes the next king of Rohan. I think it was the 10th 10th king of Rohan in the generational um, birth family, family line, birth tree, family tree, whatever. But it's this idea that um, people can't, people are sorry, people feel the need to interject their ideas and their stories over Tolkien's. Uh, that's just plain lunacy. And I think again, for someone like Andy Serkis who should understand the works of Tolkien so well, especially after narrating 5 of them, that he still feels that Hunt for Gollum is a good idea. And again, this was stated to be true. Again, I was pretty sold on the idea, which I think it still is, that Warner Brothers wanted to do the whole War of the Rohirrim thing so that they kept the rights, so that all of it didn't fall to Amazon, because that would have been even worse than it is now. But same thing, like, why don't you go back and do the story of the Children of Húrin or Beren and Luthien? Stories that are actually very compelling, that we actually have more detailed information of, that you could probably do a shorter movie on. Oh yeah, by the way, those stories are dark. Like, you think Game of Thrones is dark? You don't know jack shit about the first age of Tolkien. Think about it. The Silmarillion is beautiful, is dark though. As much as I don't want this, I prefer they recast Viggo versus what we saw in The Irishman. I mean, I don't know, that it's sort of like if the movie sucks and then Viggo's associated with it, that's one thing. But it's also like, if Viggo is associated with it and he was de-aged, then what if his performance was still great? The takeaway would be, man, at least Viggo, story sucks, kind of. But Viggo was great. Which I kind of feel is going to be the point. Like, oh, yeah, it's going to be Ian McKellen doing, the whole Gandalf thing's great to see Gandalf. Yeah, Andy Serkis is great. Gone per usual. Kate Winslet, still don't know who the hell she's going to be. And then whoever is going to step into the enormous shoes that Viggo has, good luck, as Morgan Freeman would say. I watched The Boy in the striped pajamas to lighten the mood after it. Also, I think Nick Cave did the music for The Road. I think so too. I've read The Road in prison, then saw the movie. One-time watches, excellent both, but fucking depressing. Blue, you want to talk about on Masculine Mondays in October? So, my aunt bought me Kober's books years ago. It's more cringe than his Late Show. Unreadable. Has nothing to do with politics. Yeah. That's my problem, is we might see some of that into the Shire, right? Or something to do with Middle Earth. That's going to be some sort of politically driven. Somehow they're going to take some things that we're experiencing in modern day time and throw it into a completely fictional realm of Middle Earth in the Fourth Age. Everything I want to know about Sam's daughter and bathroom brawls. I can't wait for Sam's daughter to lead around the old men, a la Picard season 1. God, dude. But Nick, what if I didn't have an imagination? Look, there was a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude that probably gave one of the best pieces of advice a lot of people on the internet could take. You never go full retard. Honestly, Unnamed Daughter is great. More on that in a video, though. I don't want to spoil everything I have for the Unnamed Daughter, but they'll probably make them Somalian. They don't have a family tree so much as a gnarled stump. Well, I mean, who knows? Yeah, they may pull a new Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter thing, right? And start changing the way House Slytherin looks. My wife misread the headline and said Aragorn is going to be racist. Why? Right? Yeah. Aragorn was racist as Strider. Here, is that Kate Winslet? Kate Winslet's name is Girl Labos. Yeah, right. Game of Thrones is not seen with Galadriel is seen. Yeah. Orcs are misunderstood. Some idiot writer for Rings of Power. Right? Pretty much. Their families are gross. Exactly. We're just trying to provide for our families, you bigot. What's wrong with us being orcs? What about their legs? They don't need those. Oh, they look tasty. They are not for eating. The master says they have something for the war. A ring. Some elvish weapon. I went full retard. Well, the good thing for you, Ronan, is that it's Good Friday. And you can repent for your sins of going full retard. So what better time than now? I guess we'll take a gander at some of this article here. Yeah, so we know he's not reprising his role. So here we go. I don't know what's out there at the moment, but I know there's a lot of speculation. But let's just say we are recasting the role and we are on the way to finding someone. I mean, yeah, it's kind of playing dumb to the idea that, oh, yeah, I don't know what the stock on the internet is, but the specifics of Kate Winslet's role remains under wraps. Now, I saw a crazy-ass rumor out there. Again, I don't believe this for a second because I'm like, I don't understand how the hell this would actually make any sense. But someone on the internet, which, again, a lot of people say dumb shit on the internet, with the rumors page is mainly like, oh my God, so-and-so's happening in Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, how long has Kathleen Kennedy supposed to be leaving Disney since like 2017, aka the Mike Zero videos, right? I saw that Kate Winslet's supposed to be playing Smeagol's mother. Smeagol's mother. So does that mean we would get flashbacks like we did with Smeagol and Deagle in Return of the King? And we would see a younger Smeagol. And then we would see Smeagol's mother. Why? And how the hell is that relevant to anything of the story or Lord of the Rings or Tolkien? So weird. So weird. Hi, Molly Dolly. How are you? If you don't love Rings of Power, you just don't understand nuance. Well, I guess I don't have an imagination. I don't go full tard. I was born full tard. Not the same. I guess that's fair, Jax. With the Viggo de-aging, it was Point in The Irishman. The scenes with De Niro was beating up a guy in his 30s was awful. He moved like a de-aged 75-year-old. Right, exactly. I mean, you know that Viggo would, or there would be some sort of sword fighting. Maybe, right? But here's the beauty. And if I can think of this, then why the hell can't they? You have, wait for it, a stunt man come in and do his stunts with the sword fighting via good camera angles. It's not hard. Looks like storyboards is back on the menu. Sorry for the little screech there. Shut up. Not sure why this was recommended to me, but I recognize a lot of the names of the chat. Yeah, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. We're talking orcs. I need to do audiobooks. I'll listen with headphones in my bathtub. I can't do Lord of the Rings narrations now because Andy Serkis has freaking done it. Right, exactly. Doomcock's another one. Yep. Predicted 37 of the Kathleen Kennedy firings. Yep. And then the other Dave Filoni rumors and the Jon Favreau rumors, right? All that stuff. My only wish to catch a fish so juicy, sweet. If Nick says Mike Zero 3 times in a mirror, Mike will make 5 videos about Nick. Does the camera count as a mirror? I mean, technically there's a mirror here, right? Mic 0. Mic 0. I'll refrain. Don't worry. Lots of targets. Live happy lives. She's a pilot now. Oh God, what airline? They prefer the preferred term is man of stunting, Nick. Oh yeah, it's true. My bad. I'm also expecting to get the tale of Sarilla, Sauron's troublesome teenage daughter. Yeah, that would be some shit we didn't expect. Before Sauron died, even though he couldn't somehow reincarnate himself, but he was able to create a daughter, an evil daughter, right? So then Samwise Gamgee's good, Hobbit daughter, who's like what, gonna be like 14, a teenager, somehow will have to face Sauron's teenage daughter. So it's going to be like a Mean Girls, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, Fourth Age type of ordeal here. God, that doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. Foreshadowing good when Idiocracy is quite brilliant. Oh yeah, well, we all know Idiocracy is one of the prophecy movies. So I saw 2 Mic 0 videos around COVID. That was enough for me. I mean, Boosh, you got off easy, brother. I mean, God, I mean, like, was it like 2017? I want to say it was right on the same time, like back on like around that era of YouTube, of The Last Jedi, or in between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, where I discovered, Star Wars Theory, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and and so forth, a couple other well-known YouTubers now, of course. Mike Zero was one of them, and I was like, oh, does this guy actually know what he's talking about here, or is he for real? And then when he's releasing like 5 videos of the same thing like a day, I'm like, all right, bud, like, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times, fool me thrice, and one day, then nah, dude, like you ain't spitting facts here, you're spitting garbage. Don't summon him, precious. Who knows? I might like right at the very end. I really hit the trend of adding a modern twist to classics. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is the only exception. I actually had that book. I didn't mind it though. I actually preferred it better than the Pride and Prejudice book. I know that might cause some tension, but too bad. I saw one Doomcock video circa 2020, and that was enough. Yeah, I thought I was like, that's a funny gimmick, but I'm like, no, people actually take him seriously. Okay, well, I guess we'll see how long that lasts. I don't even know if he's still around. Is he still around? When I saw Mark Zero show up in my feed, I immediately classified him as another dumb cuck, pretty much. We've got to keep it all back, Circus told Screen about not revealing additional information about this movie. I mean, look, other than I think it's probably common knowledge, but our film takes place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and it's the hunt for Gollum, and it's a physical hunt for the character. Oh, what other kind of hunt would it be? A mental hunt? Also a psychological... but also a psychological hunt for himself. Why do we need a psychological hunt for Gollum? Why not? Peter Jackson, who directed The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit film trilogies, is producing The Hunt for Gollum. With his creative partners and franchise mainstays Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens. Talk about them in just a second. Elijah Wood recently appeared on Happy Sad Confused podcast. That's right, and said it's going to be tough, boots to fill, and I think that oh, see, this is interesting. Wood told the Sunday Times he would not want to be recast as Frodo. Huh. I certainly want anyone else to play Frodo as long as I'm alive and able. Oh, so you have can say that, but Viggo can't. Quite interesting. It's always a little nerve-wracking when people talk about new movies for a world like Middle Earth. And to that, I agree. And as all of us are like, the moment we hear a little buzz, hey, there's a new little Lord of the Rings movie being made, you're like, oh, stop. We don't need whatever's coming along the line. We don't even need a rumor. Like I don't want rumors even. But yeah, it's immediately nerve-wracking at that point. Everyone gets a little protective and hopes it retains its level of integrity. It won't, but this story is fun, thrilling. There's a genuine feel of getting the band back together, but you're inherently not getting the band back together because as integral as Viggo was to Frodo or to Elijah Wood, and granted, it was just the Fellowship of the Ring that they were mainly in and didn't see each other until obviously the end of Return of the King. They still spent a considerable amount of time together, right? Like they all spent years of filming together nonstop to create this trilogy. So they were all very a tight knit group, which is why like the four hobbits are still so close, and they are with other other actors as well from that franchise. But I think, and I don't know if Viggo has fully expressed. I don't know. Like Viggo doesn't go on like podcasts or like I don't even know if he goes to like cons really. I think he used to, but it would be kind of well, I'll say it would be weird or awkward, but it's like saying like like what if someone else comes in and plays Legolas or Gimli? I don't see how they would fit in that movie in The Hunt for Gollum anyway. But it's kind of the same thing. Like how I'll go back to Blue Collar Loser's point earlier. If Colbert decides to do this movie and it does get made, and there's some sort of fighting scenes and those characters are in it, like John Rhys Davies old, Orlando Bloom might be able to pull it off. But there again, like if that movie's not made for another 6 years, and Viggo is going to be what 76, like or something like that, like. Or in his late 60s, I want to say. How old is Viggo Mortensen right now? Hold on. I totally did not check. Hold on. He's 67 right now. So let's say the Colbert movie is done in another 6 years, and he like in Aragorn or Lord King Elisar is in the movie, which obviously he should be. He's 73 years old, which he wouldn't have to do any fighting because he's just there to rule, Gondor and his people. He could be in it, right? But he wouldn't need to do any sword fighting. He wouldn't have to do much unless he really decided to. Which at that point, you'd maybe it wouldn't even fit to that point too, because him being one of the Dunedain, one of the ancestral Numenorians, like. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's 83, but he looks like he's like 40, right? So, he would be 14 years after. So if I'm mathing correctly, he would be 97 at the point in Lord of the Rings and in Middle Earth. So it's like, well, maybe he'd be like 50-ish. He'll look in his 50s, late 50s, maybe at that point. Which he won't look like that in real life, but. So that you might have to do some sort of makeup to it, but how do you fight like that? You'd still have to have some sort of agility with sword fighting, and especially since Arison's great sword is rather large, made by the shards of Narsil, right? But I read that one. Sorry, same zombies is better than the original. I agree. The Force he does is annoying. I couldn't watch Jim Cock anymore. I agree. Oh, what's up, Corn Boy? How you doing, brother? They're doing it for money? 100%. I know. What does it even mean? Yeah. He said would. Giggity giggity. The start of Return of the King gave us enough background on Gollum. I legitimately never want to know anymore. Exactly my point, Molly. Like we already know what happens in the Fellowship of the Ring. When Gandalf states, I looked everywhere for the creature Gollum, and he uttered 2 words.
Sire! Pardons!
Oh my god, but that will lead them to the Shire. Yes. Take it, Gandalf. Take it.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. Understand I would use it for good, but through me.
There it is. Oh, yes. Strider also looked for Gollum as well, which is why you see him at the Prancing Pony. Yeah, oh, the 199 from Blue Collar Loser. Nick, you're boring solo, and Jay, we need Cloud yelling. I know. I mean, if I need to be more autistic, like some other solo people, then I could totally do that. Let me just know. And I appreciate the dono. Here's a corny joke for you.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Mike Zero and the Cording are why I didn't want to make a YouTube channel. I'm like, this is how you get subs on a platform? Holy shite. I mean, some people fall for it. What's up, Draconis? Hey, dude. It's like dog ears on Numenorian. Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way of thinking about it. And listen, I appreciate Elijah Wood stating this up until about this part, because you should be protective about it. I mean, this is one of the IPs, and that trilogy is like should never ever be remade. Like it's like, you know, but I feel like it's the same effect. Like no one's going ahead and recreate the original Jaws. No one's going ahead and recreate E.T. or the original Jurassic Park. There are certain movies that will never get remade because there's some sort of lockdown on it, whether it's because your name is Steven Spielberg or by what, but it's like they should never be remade. They're instead going to remake, or sorry, they're going to add on to those movies, and it's going to be, shit. Kind of like we'll never see like the original Terminator movie be remade again. But we'll add more movies to it that are all terrible. Aside from maybe T2. Don't say I know there's only one Terminator movie. I know that's coming. But like this story is fun, thrilling. That remains to be seen. I'm obviously going to see it because y'all know me, and for those of you who don't know me, again, I'm a very big Tolkien fan. And I have a video coming out in the near future talking about again War of the Rohirrim and other works of how I would have done things. But anyway, I'm just gonna have to do a review on it. I have to. I'm going to feel compelled to do it. Moving on, I can also recognize what fun that is going to be when you are in the cinema and you see that hat turn around. It's Gandalf, because I am also a fan and excited to see how it all comes together. Sure, that's going to be a bit of that nostalgia that we talked about. It's the nostalgia of seeing Ian McKellen, or Sir Ian McKellen, as Gandalf again for the 7th time, right? I mean, even though he's not wearing a hat in the Two Towers and Return of the King, so I guess this is his 5th time wearing a hat in a movie, the Gandalf hat, as Gandalf the Grey. Oh yes, that was my name. I am Gandalf the White. Saruman should have been. Gobert wants to write Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. God, he could really mess around with those roles. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Is that how I should just refer to you? Or just NM? That's going to be a real tongue twister. For the love of Eru, just leave Bombadil alone. Yeah, like Tom Bombadil is one of those characters that never needs to see the screen, like ever, because no one's going to do him right. T2 is great. We might cover T2 on Mask of Mondays. And you never know who might pop up to talk about said movie. You just never know. Num 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 num. That's better to say. God, yeah. This is the other part that kills me. Wow, Stephen Colbert is currently co-writing another Rings movie with his son, Peter McGee, and Philippa Boyens. What do we expect? Besides nothing good. Maybe we'll finally get Glorfindel, but he will be a woman with dreadlocks and a septum. Does that mean septum ring theory is correct? Sorry, Molly. Yeah, I'm expecting to see some of the same egregious things that we've seen in Rings of Power in maybe not Hunt for Gollum, but definitely Colbert's movie, right? Like we're definitely going to see that for 100%. Kind of like kind of like these new images from Harry Potter, which are hilarious. I'm going to pull those up here in just a second. I never liked Tom Bombadil. Don't need him. He derailed the story. Really? Really? You think he derailed the story? I mean, not to go down a rabbit hole on Tom Bombadil right now, but Tom Bombadil is definitely a very unique character. That just, he was never affected by the ring because he's otherworldly, right? And I kind of mentioned this on a recent stream where Tom Bombadil is like the ring and did the whole Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Tossed the lightsaber. That's kind of like what would I feel is an analogy or metaphor for Tom Bombadil in the ring. This whole thing, I have no use for it because it really doesn't, though. The one true septum ring, my precious. We need a Hollywood musical directed by Tim Burton on the creation of Arda. That actually might not be that bad. I think Tim Burton would probably do a better job, if I'm being honest. 9 septum rings for womankind, all who desire power above everyone else, especially the males. It's cool. The shoe fits. I don't classify you as one of those. One of them. One of them rings. I'm great solo. Ayo! Goodwin would ruin the stream. Goodwin's modding for me. But for that. Now you're a man! Now you're a man. Man. It also might be for the tidies. As soon as I pull up, X. Leo Woodall will reportedly play Lord of the Rings Aragorn. There's a video from Josh Horowitz. Oh yeah, that's the interview. Well, until I see it actually come from Andy Serkis's mouth, I don't care. I mean, I honestly don't really care whoever it's going to be at this point, but there's actually some interesting posts though that I kind of agree with in terms of certain actors. Hopefully this doesn't get fucking taken down because of the damn music, but pardon my language. Nobody can top Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. It's a little video of Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie here. But Margot Robbie's a huge fan. And the question is who is your cinematic crush? Let me fix my Windows sizing here. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Okay.
Who was your cinematic crush?
Oh,
Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
wait, from the book? Or you talking about Viggo Mortensen?
Viggo Mortensen in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
As Aragorn.
All right, well.
Excuse me.
Say what you want about Margot Robbie, but that's probably one of the most based takes you can have right there.
That man in the corner. Who is he?
He's one of them rangers. Dangerous folk they are, one in the wilds. He's known as
Probably muted to this part because who knows what kind of stupid ass DMC thing. I understand.
Viggo, you know?
Strider.
Strider.
Yeah. I mean, good luck. Good luck. Good luck trying to capture this same fucking Riz or an aura. Like you just, I don't care who it is. You won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. What do we come to? What do we come to here? Well, I can tell you what else we came to. Now you're a man. There's only one Lord of the Septum, and there is only one Lord of the Septum, and she does not share power. Must be old. She looks like a skeleton now. Yeah, that was from some years ago. Skeleton? Well, I mean, listen. Apparently, that I don't know if you've seen Cornboy, but that video of her and like withering, whatever, withering, weathering heights, however the hell you call it. She getting it on and looks a little too real. So, yo, what's up, Hoodie? Absolutely ridiculous. Some would probably say redonkulous. Do we remember when that was like a popular word to be said? Did I just date myself? God, good to see you, brother. They will cast Ncuti Gatwa as Aragorn. God, dude, it's gonna be the Snape effect for sure. Wuthering Heights or some shite, exactly. Kevin Hart as Gimli, why not? Put the Rock as Orlando Bloom as well, so we can have another Rock and Kevin Hart movie combo, right? The sidekick combo. And then he can actually go, nobody tosses a dwarf, and then Dwayne The Rock Johnson will actually throw, sorry, as Legolas, The Rock Johnson will throw him across the board. Yeah, what's up, Lieutenant? How you doing, brother? Happy Friday. Brie Larson as Legolas. God. No, Brie Larson as Galadriel, even though she's already left to go over to Valinor. She'll come back from Valinor and say like, hey guys, just stopping by. How are the politics here? Did you know I love Mario? Whoopi Goldberg as Galadriel. Samoan Legolas, exactly. Cast Jack Black as Aemir. Doing okay? Good to hear that. I saw Super Mario Galaxy yesterday. It was great. I have not seen it yet, which is why I'm not talking about it. I know it might be a little bit of a hot topic to talk about. I see a mix of things. But listen, if you like it, good for you, brother. Good for you. Whoopi Goldberg as Gone would be better. Yeah, but that would mean that Andy Serkis is out of a job. We don't want to put Andy Serkis out of a job. We need to have him as a job. Bro, I've been waiting a lifetime for some proper Pacific Islander representation in Lord of the Rings. Bro, reach. You know, because the, Samoan Anglo-Saxons definitely make sense of the accuracy, right? Imagine we brought back Tolkien so we could see all this, and he would just die an even worse death. I wouldn't want to bring that, though. Yo, what's up, Hoodie? Thanks for subbing, my brother. Speaking of things that burn our eyes, our asses. Now, I put out a video several days ago, about the Harry Potter trailer. And they've been slowly releasing pictures of more set pieces. And I just had to bookmark this one because it's a commentary account called Severus Chud. What a name. Patriot, Slytherin, nuked from TikTok and Insta. But he's on X representing, he's stating things that need to be said. And so I'm reiterating them. They even replaced Slytherin with Indians, Lamau. Like, guys. Remember, this is supposed to be based on fidelity and book accuracy, right? We're supposed to be having the true representation of source material from JK. Just kidding, Rowling. Because that is a joke. We are not actually adhering to the source material. I feel like that's the trend in the last 5 to 7 years. Things we didn't ask for, and I think it was George Lucas that recently said like Hollywood is just so like hell bent on the idea of remakes and remasters. You know, it's like because they are creatively bankrupt, and I know that's something that's been said by numerous people on the internet, and we all know this, and it's like beating a dead horse. Yes, we all know most of Hollywood is creatively bankrupt, and they can't say and tell us anything good. They don't have an imagination, so let's go ahead and remake things. Let's go ahead and remake the entire, Harry Potter saga. And I understand that, and I said this in my video, I haven't read the books. I have them all now, which I plan to read to have that knowledge in case anyone decides to clap back, and I will gladly clap back at them. And I know from people who have read the source material and said, oh, well, the movies don't follow the books 100% either. I understand that. And I think it's fine if a movie captures most of the source material, a high percentage of said source material. I mean, the Lord of the Rings trilogy isn't 100% accurate either. There are things that are placed from the Two Towers into Return of the King. There are things that happen in Return of the King that are in the Two Towers, right? Characters, pieces, moments that aren't in the movies. But the majority of the movie, or movies, the trilogy, is still very well done. Obviously, it's why people will say it's the greatest trilogy ever made. And we can stomach it. And we can appreciate it. Knowing that, yeah, you know what? I know it wasn't Arwen that saves Frodo. And Peter Jackson explains why they didn't want to include Glorfindel. But Glorfindel makes so much sense from a book perspective. I don't know what sort of similar comparisons would line up with the Harry Potter books to the 8 movies. I'll learn more as I read along, of course. And especially comparing them to the show, which should make for some interesting arguments. But, if you're going off of the reason why we're remaking these movies and we're getting the approval of the creator herself is to say we want accuracy. We want fidelity. You guys as fans will appreciate this even more. Just wait till you see it. We waited, then we heard a rumor, and then we were taken aback by it. Baffled but not surprised, really, because we see how woke Hollywood is. And now we see it a little bit more. You can't even get the bloody house colors right anymore. And I get it. You could say, Nick, it's just one scene, brother. It's just one scene where they don't have, their robes on. They don't have their green scarves on yet, their house scarves yet. Why the hell are they all wearing purple ties? Or is it just so dark that I can't see it right? Also, I don't know if I need to zoom in more, if I need to change the contrast on my monitor. Maybe a 4K monitor isn't providing that sort of clarity that I'm looking for here, but guys, hold on a second. Can I zoom in a little bit more here? What am I missing? That's Draco Malfoy. Forget these two stooges like to eat. Forget who they are, but there's a there's a contrast issue here. Huh. Well then. Num 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 num. Pretty dark in the UK nowadays. Yeah, you said it right, brother. You said it right. I guess Rowling wanted to be more accurate in terms of present day UK with her books. Gotcha. This is not going to cause any controversy whatsoever. Nope, nada, zilch, zero. Maybe it's called Alan's Snack Bar. Go back and read this. Galaxy is funny. For every 5 tweets saying it sucks, 5 more saying it's awesome. Yeah. Didn't George Lucas remaster the original trilogy? Yeah, I mean, he added all those stupid effects to it, but I mean, the story is still the same, right? So it's like they didn't recast, Han Solo or Leia or anyone else. They didn't decide to get, a different voice for Darth Vader, which imagine that. Imagine, guys, because we're gonna remake Star Wars, the original trilogy, and we're not going to use James Earl Jones' voice. It's going to sound completely different. In fact, we're going to use the original actor's voice instead, so it sounds extra. You know what? We're going to replace Darth Vader's voice with a Scouse accent instead. Imagine that. They need to take certain liberties, but not. But they're making Mont Blancs. Right. A new Snape rap dropped by Fozotic. Not as good as the Skyrim one, but the instrumental is still good. Oh, okay. If you want to send it over, I haven't listened to it yet, but would give up my firstborn for a proper Lord of the Rings open world game. I mean, Molly, we're supposedly getting one. So, honestly, I'm hopeful of it, especially because I think it was oh God, who is it? The same studio that made Kingdom Come Deliverance. So honestly, I'm actually looking forward to it. If those rumors turn out to be true, then I will be excited. And I will play the ever living shit out of that game and stream it, of course. But yeah, this is just another example here. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Don't know what they're doing. Oh yeah, this is kind of hilarious.
Expelliarmus, give me your shit, nigga.
Oh boy. Yeah, Crab and Goyle, that's right. You have a firstborn. What's up, Braylon? How you doing, brother? So I read the Potter books and bought them on Audible. The movie changes were fine. The final book is 1,000 pages. You got to make cuts. Quidditch doesn't need to be in every film, for example. Right, exactly. Like, and those are liberties that you can take, and it doesn't deviate from the source material because there are other parts of the source material that need to take precedence. Warhorse Studios. Thank you, Ronan. Thank you. Set it for an IOU. God. I want Rockstar to make a medieval game. I need a third-person medieval game that, like, I need 3 more inches. Oh my God. There's a cool game that's coming out, Waylon, that got pushed back called Kingmakers. I mean, that's technically in the wheelhouse of medieval games, but there's a lot more that goes into it. So you might have already heard of it before, but I'm waiting for that to get released because that's gonna be a fun game. It's like medieval inspired, but you can like go in there with like a Tommy gun and like a truck. That's gonna be a fun game to play. I am looking forward to that a lot. Whenever the hell that decides to come out, though. Yeah, and there was another photo out there too that was like inside the classroom, and it's like how how can you see the bloody classroom? It's just like, dude, like, the color grading is just awful in this show. And I hope that they're taking some feedback. I'm hoping they're getting this feedback. And they're going, you know what, maybe we need to up it a bit because we already have people that are doing a better job online. And maybe it is too dark. But yeah, let's see here. This is from Discussing Film. First look at, hang on, I'll just reshare my screen real quick. First look at the diagonally, as Harry Potter would say. Diagonally. Now, look, yeah, this is well lit, of course. Looks like an authentic set, which is nice. We'll see, though. We'll see about the rest. The potion classroom, and this was I saw a color regrading of this particular photo, which I'm like, you're gonna put Snape in this one? Like this is like in this the same color grading? All right, well, that's fun. And then the classroom here, which I've seen people kind of point out, they're not even using candles, they're using these like light bulbs, but they're the magic light bulbs, Nick. They're the magic. They use the illumination from the wands, and they go like lit up like this. You can't even use bloody candles. I should stream Shadow of Mordor and War of Mordor. Yeah, both of those games were great. The Nemesis system is one of the best gaming systems I think I've ever seen, and like, I don't know why they've never done anything about it. Exactly, color grading is an easy fix, and they really need to do that. Because I honestly don't know why it is so dark. Exactly, you ain't gonna see Snape. Like, people are gonna turn up their brightness on when they're looking at this picture. People are gonna turn up their brightness and go, "The hell is Snape?" They all have torches above lit. Yeah. I mean, I think there's some things that are going to make sense, and there's other things that aren't going to make sense. I'm just gonna scroll down here a little bit because I'm just gonna leave this here. Imagine we did get Adam Driver as Snape, and this is kind of interesting, right? To think about if the other changes to House Slytherin, like we just saw a second ago on here, were the same. Okay, would that have really been? It wouldn't have mattered that much because you're talking about background characters, right? I had a friend of mine, like it was a couple years ago, like, yeah, but are there any black Harry Potter characters? I'm like, have you not seen the movies? Yeah, like, there's actually a lot in the classrooms and the grand hallways, like, like, but there aren't any main characters. Well, it's because J.K. Rowling, based it on, characters that are white and from the UK, from a different time frame, I guess. But that doesn't mean things need to be changed. And again, adhering to the source material, being having fidelity, that means you keep true to how things were. Also, Alan Rickman's portrayal of Severus Snape, arguably one of the best pieces of the Harry Potter movies. And one of the things that, me being a bit older, because I didn't care for Harry Potter growing up, because I was like, no, Tolkien's better. Sorry. I appreciated the amount of acting that Alan Rickman put into his role into those movies, right? I think Adam Driver could have lived up to those expectations, right? It's kind of that same thing. Alan Rickman for Severus Snape created pretty big shoes to fill. I think there are a number of actors in these 8 movies that created big shoes to fill. And I think Adam Driver could have actually done that while sticking to the fucking character design. It's not hard. I wonder if they're using the lights and are going to CGI the candles in. Probably. The lights, but they use lights for more consistent light, for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of CGI that we don't see in these because it's just like, here's the set, blah, blah, blah. We'll add the rest in later. It's beyond retarded. She wrote black characters. If Snape was meant to be black, she could have wrote him that way to begin with. Exactly, dude. I 100% agree. You know, like, you can't have writer's remorse, Rowling, this late into the fucking picture. There's an upcoming zombie game about a plague blight set in the 14th century that looks fun. Oh, yes. I do remember that. And I think there's another indie game. I think I tagged Mo Zamboni in it. That looks like it's going to be a fun zombie game. Like an actual realistic zombie game. Like, so you're not like running fast and like mowing down zombies, or like the zombies aren't moving at like super speed either, right? I forgot what it's called. I'll have to go check. Yo, what's up, Isaac? How you doing, brother? Happy Good Friday to you, sir. I watched the Harry Potter movies for the first time recently. Oh, nice. I liked them more than expected. This show, however, does not excite me much at all. And Isaac, I was the same way, right? Like, I never cared about them up until about a decade ago, and I watched them. And I was like, yeah, you know, the first one, the Sorcerer's Stone, it's too, like, I'm like, yeah, see that? I never go back and watch that one. Like, I've shown it to my nieces because I'm like, well, they're, age-wise, that makes sense for them. I like when things start to get a little darker, you know, like The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's when things start to get a little dark, you know, and seeing, what's his face as Sirius Black, Gary Oldman. I was like, Gary Oldman's in this? Good luck trying to do a better job than Gary Oldman, but, you know, have fun. And Goblet of Fire, too, to me, it might be one of my favorite movies of the 8. I think between that and Half-Blood Prince, I think those are my 2 favorite. Because I think stakes are higher, you realize a lot more, and they're obviously, you know, dark. And I think, I know we haven't really talked about it a lot, and I know there's been rumors, which I don't expect to be true, but I think it's more so a fan suggestion of saying it would be great to see Cillian Murphy play Lord Voldemort. It's probably not going to happen, just like people wanted to see Cillian Murphy play Victor Von Doom. Well, nope, we're just going to recast Tony Stark with Robert Downey Jr. again for that, because, you know, that makes sense. It will, though. Trust me, guys. Alternate universes and all that stuff. But yeah, this does not excite me, and I feel like people are going to go back and watch the movies. Like, watch. People are going to go back to the movies. I've never watched the movies before, and they're going to do a lot of comparisons, and then you're going to see like, oh, wow, actually, people have been watching a lot of the movies because of the show now on HBO. Yeah, exactly, Isaac. J.K. Rowling wrote the books when Britain was like 90%, 95% white. Thus, we need to change them because modern times, again, that doesn't make any sense. Tolkien is better, I agree. And yeah, I think Harry Potter is just a fun series, right? Like, going to Universal Studios and being in the park, it is this sort of fun feeling, right? Like, whether you go during the day or you go at night, it is this fun feeling. Like when you go and get butterbeer, you know, spiked, of course. It's like a fun experience to be in. And which I think if they ever did like a Lord of the Rings amusement park, I might just disappear for a bit, because I might be there every single day, just living in that land. You know, where's Nick? I'm streaming live from Fangorn Forest, everyone. Like, You know what I'm saying? But that would even make the world of Middle Earth even more special than it already is from just a book and movie perspective from our imagination. I thought the first two were okay. Prison was good. Seems too childish, but overall okay films. Yeah, I see that. Like obviously, there's still things about the Prisoner of Azkaban that are still in the realm of like being a little too childish. But but it also makes sense given how old they are, right? Rickman is irreplaceable, but Driver I could have supported. He's really growing as an actor. I agree, Blue. Like the more outside of the sequel trilogy, the more I've seen him do, the more I've actually been a fan of his. And I would like to see him get some better opportunities with acting roles. And I get it. Like he was already sort of stuck in the sequels for Star Wars, and it's like, well, that took some odd years of his life. To spend another decade as how they're framing this for this series, which guys, are we really gonna get a decade of Harry Potter shows? Like, seriously? Do we need 10 years, 10 seasons? I haven't read the books. Again, maybe we do, but I would imagine like, wouldn't there just be one season per book? Because if each season is 10 episodes, that's 10 hours. You mean to tell me you can't tell me a book? You can't explain to me a book in 10 hours? It's a bunch of malarkey. But I agree. I would have supported Adam Driver as Snape. I think it would have been. I think we would have been getting a lot more praise. There'd been a lot more of positive criticism based on this show. Driver might actually be better casting than Snape, giving him closer to Snape's book age. Precisely. Like, and that's why, like, you had such a golden opportunity. You looked a gift horse in the mouth, and you casted it aside. You casted it into the fire, like Isildur should. No. But you know what? Their loss. I mean, it's also our loss too, because we're not getting an actual book accurate show here. We're getting half the fidelity we actually thought we were being sold on. Yeah, fun describes them. Silly fun for kids. Don't think about it too much. Right. Blight Survival. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the game, right? Blight Survival. I think you're referring to, Ronan. That rings a bell. I didn't watch the Harry Potter movies until last year. The first two have a charm the others don't have, and it's because of Chris Columbus. I agree. And it kind of goes to what Isaac says. When I do a rewatch, I will skip the first two. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer a Dos Equis. Skip the first two, my friends. I love those commercials so much. Those commercials are so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I might have to like bring some of those up on the birthday stream or something like that. But I agree. I'll the only time I will ever watch the second one is if my nieces want to watch it, because they're, kind of I'm trying to raise my nieces right. Like my youngest one, she loves Spider-Man. She went on the Spider-Man ride at Universal, loved it. She's like, I want a shirt. I'm like, I gotta get you reading comics, girl. The right ones. She loves Star Wars, loved Darth Vader and Chewbacca. She looked at Red and didn't even know who she was. I'm like, it's kind of how I feel. Half-Blood is dog shit. Really? Do you think you think it's dog shit? Order of the Phoenix has the best villain though. Oh, you're talking about what's her face? That wicked teacher. Yeah, she's a see you next Tuesday, Waylon. I get what JK went for. My biggest issue with the Potter franchise was Sirius Black. Damn, she fucked him over bad. Yeah. Oh, I killed Sirius Black. Oh, I killed Sirius Black. Na 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 na. Universal Studios Harry Potter section is a blast. Oh, dude, like it is amazing. I always go there. That's why whenever you try to go on the Hagrid ride, it's always at least an hour wait. When we went to Universal at MegaCon, it was just for people who went to MegaCon only, right? In the after hours. So it's not even full park attendance, right? It was an hour wait still at like 11 o'clock at night. They're fucking bonkers, man. I'm a Disney adult. It's more not say me, but you know. And serious got in the this is probably a spoiler, but you know, sorry. I agree though. Driver really tried in Star Wars, but this movie's for dog crap. Yeah, you could tell he was trying to actually act as Kylo Ren, but you know, it was more so Ruin Johnson and Abrams, JJJ Abrams. They need more showtime for their ideology. Like being serious or no? Now, to be fair, Potter has dark themes for kids. Voldemort tries to fucking murder an infant. Oh no, for sure. Like when you think about it, I mean, I don't know if kids really understand that concept, but maybe they will when this new show drops. But yeah, no, there are some dark themes for sure. I agree. And yeah, Oldman and Radcliffe were great together on scene. Anyway, I think we should have seen more of it. But again, I don't think Gary Oldman to like he'll reprise his role, right? Because I don't think they're gonna go for that. Plus, he definitely looks way too old now. Book Snape was like in his early 30s. Even Rickman was too old, for sure. Drink a lot of water at Universal, and by that I mean Coors Light. Yeah, Umbridge, dude, she is evil. Oh, you got on in 5 minutes at Universal? Yeah, that dude, you got like that was like probably right before the rush happened. It was an hour and a half wait the last time I went to Universal for Hagrid's. Yeah, I mean, like if I were to go right now, I'm pretty sure that would be the wait time. Actually, I could probably even look on my Universal app here and figure out what it is. I need to sign back in on my account. Adam Driver will be good in the Western. You know, I could see that happening. Question is who's going to direct a good Western, though? Serious as in that's what they think. How else could you say? Oh, that's true. No, not Siri. Stop Siri. All right, let's see here. If we go to attractions and let's go to Flight of the Hippogriff. Flight of the Hippogriff, even. It's the kids' ride is 55 minutes. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. 110 minutes right now at 2:45 p.m. on a Friday. It's almost a 2-hour fucking wait. People love this shit. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, 45-minute wait. The train ride that takes you between parks, it's not even that special of a ride. Like the experience is kind of cool. I would just rather walk and get there quicker. 45-minute for a measly train thing. Like on a Friday afternoon, y'all. People love this shit. Now, if you go to Epic Universe, when they have the new Ministry of Magic area, which is awesome, that's a 115-minute wait. 150-minute wait. That's a cool one. So, yeah, Gringotts, which is it's a pretty cool ride. 80-minute wait. Case in point is people love experiencing the world of Harry Potter. And I thought about this yesterday. I was talking to a friend. What happens when you show your kids this show next year, right? And they go, Mom, Dad, I want to go to Universal. I want to go to Epic Universe. I want to go to Harry Potter World. My mom and dad go, all right, let's book a trip. Whether you're from out of state or somewhere out in state that you haven't been to yet with your kids or their kids. And the kids have this idea of what Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley look like. And they go there. And they go, Mom, why does he look different? Why does Hagrid sound different? They might not know, Dumbledore is a different older person. Well, I like John Lithgow, and I think John Lithgow will do well. But they'll notice, oh, why does so-and-so look different? Well, son, that's going to have that's going to be an interesting conversation to have, and good luck to those parents out there. But I also would hope that the parents that you sort of want to raise their kids on Harry Potter, because if they were fans, kind of like I'm doing, you raise them on the good shit. So that's another thing that I don't think they thought about. Why are we remaking things? Does that mean we need to remake everything in the park? You probably can't because of some sort of like contracting reasons. But I tell you what, that would be another controversial take. Imagine that they decide to start changing the way everything looks at all three parks based on the look of the show. I guarantee you they're going to lose money. And people are going to be outraged by it. All of some stupid ass decision. You heard it here first, folks. I saw this. Where was it? J.K. Rowling is on a cruise at this point. Cruise control. I doubt she gives a fuck about. She probably doesn't. And it's just like more money. Lols. Also a great game I got to stream is Hogwarts Legacy. And I mentioned this briefly in my video where Hogwarts Legacy was a great idea as an open world game that allows you to create your own character inside the wizarding world of Harry Potter. And it's like 100 years before the events of Harry Potter takes place, or 100, was it 150 or 200 years? I forget. But the idea is that it takes place before, and it's not in the same, vein as, oh, I'm playing as Harry Potter or Hermione or Ron, right? Like, no, you're not. Like, you're still in Hogwarts. You can still, go buy potions, and you can still, go into the dark forest. Like, you can do a lot of these things that we know about, plus more, right? There's a lot more in that game, which is fantastic because it allowed the creators to think about their animation, their creation, and bring more to life for us that we get to experience from an open world game. And that would be like the same context of the open world Lord of the Rings game, which, I don't know if anyone out there has played the MMO, the Lord of the Rings MMO before that came out like a decade ago. I was kind of mentioning this on Scooby Pup stream last Saturday too. Where that was a fun game I played a lot of as well, because it's like, oh, I get to play in a Lord of the Rings MMO. Yes, please, like sign me up. I am here, boss. To create a character and to go through Middle Earth and fight off goblins and orcs and trolls, like go into the mines of Moria, make my way to fighting Uruk-hai. Make my way to Mount Doom, right? Like all those things were a blast to do. But for the sake of what they've actually created in Harry Potter for Hogwarts Legacy is, here's how you fly your broomstick. Here are all the finer spells to use. Also, you could learn, Crucio, Avada Kedavra, right? Like the cursed spells. And then it was just hilarious what you could do when you go into Hogwarts, and then you just start Avada Kedavering people, and then like they all sort of like turn on you. That's just hilarious. So, I'll direct it. Actually, Tarantino can direct an all right Western. I'm sure you could direct the Western Wayland, and then Goodwin can be your producer. So what you're saying, Nick, is people love writing Hagrid. Phrasing, for sure. They love the ride, the motorcycles and the sidecar. Hogwarts Legacy is such a fun game. I agreed. A 149 super sticker from our short king, Mr. Rossi. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're happy Friday. And this one's for you. Now you're a man, man. I gotta get some like unique clips. I have some in mind I need to get though. Velocicoaster was probably the first time a roller coaster was a little much for me. Dude, Velocicoaster is no joke. That ride is intense, man. Like that thing goes fast as fuck, dude. And you're upside down for a considerable amount of time. Like you feel the G-force in that one, man. Like I agree. That one's like a little much. That's like the threshold. I'm like, I want to be able to like turn my head left and right tomorrow. Exactly. Yeah, there was where you can have Kadabra. Yep. And agreed. That's why MegaCon at Universal is such a great deal. Is this what the parents are going to tell their kids when they go to the park? Well, son, we whites learned that sometimes it helps to use a term to differentiate others, like muggle, slur, if you will. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to address muggle as a term in that. HBO lost a ton of money on the Pacific, which is kind of strange. 100 years for the books. Gotcha. Yeah, Corn Boy, dude. That and I think you were the one who mentioned it in Scooby's chat, right? That it is still getting a lot of content, which is I love to see it. I had thought about going back to play it, but it's just like, how am I gonna have time to like sink my teeth into that while still like playing? I haven't even played Crimson Desert yet. Like I'm just stuck on a couple other games, but he would be a good producer. I don't know where he went. Maybe we could take his medication. Extend that eternal slumber. A new legit MMO, sorry, Lord of the Rings MMO would sell like crazy. It would, and I think whenever this open world game comes out, it's probably going to do rather well. What's going on, Melseeves? The roller coaster that made me the sickest was the Hulk roller coaster at Universal Orlando. Really? I mean, don't get me wrong, like that's intense too. Like that, I mean, you feel, I forgot how many G's, let's see, how many G-force does the Hulk have? So apparently, the Hulk roller coaster does get up to 4 Gs. Top speed is 67 mile per hour, 7 inversions, and then the Cobra roll is 110 feet. Which I mean, like you feel that launch, man. That is crazy. Now, I wonder how much the Velocicoaster has in comparison. Velocipaster. No, not Velocipaster. Velocicoaster. Right, have. Let's see here. The Velocicoaster reaches approximately 4.1 to 4.2 Gs at the bottom of the dive loop Oh, and that second launch is fucking crazy, dude. When you think it's over and it's boom, 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 boom. It also delivers a negative G-force when you're over the water, up to almost negative 2 Gs during the final mosasaur roll over the lagoon. So you hit a maximum of 4.2 Gs at the bottom of that second loop, and then a negative almost 2 Gs. And then the launch speed is 70 mile per hour. The crazy thing about that ride is that it's just a single lap bar. That's the thing that I was like, yeah, I agree. That's so I'm like, wait. I'm getting on this ride on a single lap bar. None of this, like, you know, like at least the Hulk has like a like the harness that comes over, right? You feel secure at least in the Hulk. Well, I agree, Melfi. It's like the Hulk is the Hulk definitely has some power behind it, but I was sad. I only got to ride Velocicoaster twice. Damn, dude. I rode it 3 times last year. Thought disembarking. That's crazy, bro. Did I hear about the F1 crash last Sunday? The driver went through 50 Gs? No. I love how you feel like you're going to slip out over water. That was the part that like concerned me the most. Because I'm like, imagine if some shit happened and you fell out over the water. That lawsuit is going to be fucking enormous, bro. Like, oh, God. Condor was the dumbest idea ever for a ride at Six Flags California. Oh, Condor? I don't know if I know that one. Oh, that's the one that just goes up and it kind of just, you start spinning around. See, I don't like rides like that. That just, I don't like those. I thought I was falling on the whole time. Velocicoaster, yeah. Yeah, like that was that feeling. That's when I was like, I feel like I should be in a harness here. But is he dead? Who dead? The guy who, oh no, I'm not saying someone fell out on the coaster. I'm saying what if someone fell out? Like that would definitely. Or are you saying is Cornboy dead? No, Cornboy's still alive. I met him. But if someone did fall out over the water at that point, like, and presuming they did not die, that lawsuit is going to be in the millions, if not like tens of millions, I feel like. I don't know if there are gators there, but if there are, the person's definitely going to die from that. I'm actually kind of curious. I hate just fact that I'm asking Google, are there gators in the lagoon over by hmm. Apparently there's no gators in that water. I think it's a controlled environment. That would be terrible if there was, obviously. Oh, the driver that went through the yeah. Okay, he didn't die. Okay, yeah, no, that would make more sense because I assumed he probably did die, honestly. Jana, show BH. Best I could do is a tank top right now. Show BH is for night streams. I want a pet gator. I mean, I hear you, but I know that they supposedly like control those lakes there, but yeah, go to Florida, Jana, because we got tons you can adopt. I want a pet gator without having to go to Florida. Go to Louisiana. Did they not have gators in Georgia? I feel like they should or would, right? Let's see here. Last thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'm gonna get some lunch because your boy is hungry. While I look for this last bookmark here, I was working out Wednesday night after ABF's Trigger Happy show, and you can't really see it. I don't know how I can actually really show it on screen here. Like, you can kind of see it like right here. So I was doing arms, of course. Every day is arm day, and I did my tricep workouts first. Then I switched to doing some biceps. You know, I was doing some single arm preacher curls on the bench, and then went to go do some hammer curls. Love hammer curls. Staple must do arm exercise for men and women out there. And I was like, I'm feeling good. And I was doing 30s. I'm like, let's go to 35s. And then went to go put the weights on the rack. And then I was sort of like turning, and I kind of looked away and overshot where the weight is, the rack is, or the weight. And the weight sort of like pinched the same area as the rack and my finger. And I was like, oh shit, let me try to rip my finger out. Wasn't, I had to use my other arm or another hand to lift the weight up and then remove my finger. And I was like, well, that sucks. I couldn't even make a fist Wednesday night after that. Like, it was just like my ring finger was just like up this entire time. And I went home immediately. And to ice it. I kept trying to work out. I was like, well, can I keep working out? Nope. I couldn't even pick up the damn weight. And I'm like, I'm not going to work out one arm. So went home. I was bummed. And I iced it for 20 minutes or so. And actually, it hasn't bruised that bad at all. Definitely feels swollen. But I feel like I'm back in the camp of being able to at least pick up a weight. So now I can make a fist. Mama didn't raise no punk bitch. So I, gotta get back in the gym. I would be masculine if I didn't. So, they do. Okay. There's probably some gators in Georgia, but not Florida of Louisiana level. Our first condo was on the Chattahoochee River. There'd be snakes in that river. Yeah, for sure. You never skip leg day. There are people on the internet who skip leg day, though. And I will not name them at this time. You didn't get down on the Chattahoochee River with Alan Jackson. Florida has both crocodiles and alligators. They do. They really do. No fisting. Not this night. Not this past Wednesday, Jenna. Next one, though. But yes, the Everglades has crocs and gators here. People don't know that. They're like, oh, crocs are here in Florida. I'm like, buddy, you might want to go to the Everglades and get on that airboat and see for yourself. Just don't get in the water, because you might find out a little too much. But yeah, I wanted to bring this last thing up here. About get a little political, perhaps. Babies. Fucking mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes, dude. Well, I think the bigger question, or bigger statement, Blue, is that none of us are as young and spry as Papa Pumpkin, Gourd King. He's those steroids he be using are unmatched. So the pumpkin only. I'm not gonna make a fisting joke. Save it for the birthday stream, Waylon. Bad drivers. All right, last topic, and I'm gonna go get some lunch. You guys see what our our comedian friend Theo Von said recently on Joe Rogan. I thought it was really interesting. I've seen a couple different clips about it that I've not watched the entire episode, but it obviously is kind of covering quite a bit. Joe Rogan tells Theo Von to his face that he's losing his fucking marbles, right? During the latest episode of the podcast. I feel like we'll just kind of watch it and go from there. Oh my God. Can I not? What is wrong with this cursor? There we go. Holy shit. All right, here we go.
It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids.
Pause for a second. I appreciate the fact that he's saying these things. It's this whole the Epstein stuff that, has just, again, kind of gone under the water, under the bridge that no one's talking about again anymore. Until the next time when we need another distraction. And then, here we go. We're going to mention that we've released more Epstein files, y'all. It's okay. We didn't forget. We distracted you with the Iranian war, which is also pointless. We have a whole agenda for it too, which I appreciate. Another clip of Theo Von calling out. But I love this little rant he goes on.
All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people.
He probably just said one of the loudest parts, or one of the biggest things out loud. Like, it is great to hear that, because I feel like more people should be saying it. And we know people that are, of course. And that's sort of like a, whoa, you can't say those words. Why did you say that word sort of thing? Call a spade a spade, show your integrity, show your tenacity. I honestly, I commend Theo Von for saying this, and cause I'm like, I think he's a real one. Kind of takes balls to say that too. So kudos for him.
Like, everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out. And it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just.
And that's true though. Like, you can look at, I saw a video yesterday. I talked about how, in England, right, they're not going to be talking about or acknowledging like Passover or Good Friday, right? Palm Friday. Like, it's like, probably Easter as well. And it's just like, oh, so you're going to just focus everything on Islam. Gotcha. All right. Because that's who inhabits your country now. Right. So we're not going to pay attention to the Catholicism or the Christianity or Jesus. And yeah, like, these religious leaders are fake, like, I've seen some here and there that pop up, and I've seen some little snippets of podcasts, videos, and, pastors, calling this similar, type of situation out. It's kind of what, Theo is referring to here, which is good, because that needs to be happening, right? Like, it is, this is entirely true. England is conquered. I think England is lost. 100%. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Like, what is going? I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with.
I don't like that. I don't like that Joe Rogan said that, because, it is it like demeans. And I feel like it's a little disenfranchising to his character, right? Like, Theo is just trying to think about things. He's trying to be analytical here. He's trying to think of like the logistics of what we're seeing, from various news sources. I do think what he's saying is in the realm of sanity. Now, it is insane what's happening. It's insane that we're trying to exactly right here. It silences Theo without addressing what he said. Exactly, Boosh. And I don't like that Joe Rogan said that. I really don't. I'm actually ashamed of the fact that he said that. It's actually disgusting because if it was anyone else that also said that, he probably would say the same thing. And it's just like, I don't care what you said, man. Oh man, those pills. You know, we need to get you out those pills. Come hang out with us, and then you'll forget all about this stuff. It's like, no. We shouldn't be forgetting about this. We should be addressing it. We should be talking about it more because this is the type of subject matter that needs attention for people to wake up and understand. Oh shit, maybe this is actually true. Gaslighting adjacent. Exactly, Jax. Like, Rogan has been saying the same shit for years, though. I mean, he has, right? But then like you'll see moments where he kind of has this like epiphany or a moment where like, oh, but maybe Joe Rogan does understand what's happening here, and then boom, something like this happens, and it's like, oh, maybe he doesn't. Maybe Joe's just. Maybe someone got in Joe's ear and was like, you can't really acknowledge some of these things on your podcast anymore, Joe, which would be stupid. But funny, I drove Christian to his first job today at American Eagle. He's 18, so I talked to him as a man, right? I brought up Epstein. I said, ignore it because all people do is talk about it, yet no arrests, right? It's like a moot point. Parliament is very anti-Catholic, and I've been since Harry the 8th. That's true. Trans Day of Invincibility, Easter Sunday, 2024, right? Fucking Biden. Seems like gatekeeping to me. I think that too. I think there's a lot of gaslighting and gatekeeping here. Because this isn't the only clip that Theo goes off on, right? Like this is just part of it, and like you could just see like it's like you could just see it in his face, like he's and then you can say, oh man, like Theo gets high. I don't care. I know I've known plenty of people that have been high on like weed and have said some of like the truest things, if that's what helps Theo Vaughn, like just having a little reefer, then by all means, that's better than some stupid ass fucking pharmaceutical antidepressant shit that's probably rotting his fucking brain.
I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm here. We are hanging out. We are talking. Listen to what the fuck I'm saying, Joe. Acknowledge it. Don't just cast it off to the side and be like, oh, just, we'll just chill out. No. Let's talk about it more, right? You have a show. Let's talk about it. There's a couple other clips too, that are like this, that again are very important, in that same realm. I'll bring up two more. Is this the same one? Maybe not. Here we go. Hold on. Bookmarks and all that. So another part of this podcast, talking about nuclear weapons. Again, it's just a small clip, but very, very interesting.
Out. So when you see like how it all played out and why it is what it is today, Jesus Christ, you'd be mad too.
Yeah.
And when you're mad and you're surrounded by bigger enemies that all have nuclear weapons, you don't even have nuclear weapons, wouldn't you be trying to make them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Iran should have nuclear weapons. I don't think anybody should have nuclear weapons. They
but
definitely
Israel
should.
Gets to have them.
Allegedly. This is the problem. Allegedly.
Everything's allegedly with them.
Dude. I fucking love Theo Vaughn, man. I don't know how you couldn't like the guy. Honestly, not the biggest fan, but dude's calling it like he sees it. Fucking kudos for him. I'm pretty sure Theo is completely clean and an A. I think so too. Obviously, like he's done some stuff, but I think he's gotten on a better and cleaner path, and I think that's also what's making him realize things. Like he might have been suppressing those things and not being very attuned to what's actually happening. And now that he is, people are like, "Ah, bro, like those antidepressants, like they're bad for you. Like don't do them," and blah 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 blah. Left controlling what media people are allowed to say, losing your fucking marbles. Yeah, media is the media is the real enemy here. We all know this. The media is the worst thing that's happened. And for people mad at Charles III not doing an Easter announcement, the monarch traditionally never has for Easter. Last year was the exception to due to him announcing him being cancer free. Right. So he only mentions it when it's like behooves them because it's some sort of something in line. But like get up at the average idiot like me. I've literally worked 7 days a week since January 1st. I'm barely getting by. I know what the fuck Epstein did and what the fuck he can literally, and what can we do about it? Nothing. Talk about it. Bring truth and light to it, but it only goes so far as to what I'm sitting here doing, and then you're watching me do, and others like me, right? Like that. Like this is the extent that it goes to, and then it just sort of gets lost in the wind, right? Like, Joe was sure getting nervous there as soon as that Frisbee Hat Nation was mentioned. 100%, dude. Chicken stock is made, chicken is clean, or kitchen is clean. There are some things that could have been done, but for legal purposes, they can't be repeated here. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree. Which is kind of like just that right there, Ronan, also is an egregious part. Like we are still restricted on calling out things 100%, right? But yeah, that's like I think Joe was like, oh shit, Theo. What Theo said, I think Joe Rogan might actually go, yeah, you know what? I agree, but I can't say that. That's a no thing to say on here. So like I gotta use the word allegedly just in case. And it's like, yeah, everything's allegedly with them because it is. Allegedly, they didn't know that they attacked the USS Liberty when no other naval ship looks like ours. But go ahead and attack it anyway.
Except for the genocide.
You know, they don't officially have them.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if I should say it, but you know, it's sort of like you get good at doing something after something's been done to you almost. Maybe that might not fit, but it's like a certain someone knows how to destroy a whole lot of people, a whole lot of innocent folks. Yo, Yakub! What's going on, dude? How you doing, man? It's why I drink. I did karaoke last night. Chill with you. About to the gym. Going to stream some Crimson Desert later. Hell yeah, dude. I understand. That's why you literally gotta. We have to live our lives to the best of our abilities without letting all this because this is just noise, right? Like I mean, the shit that's happening in the Middle East, like there's nothing we can do about it. Again, we can talk about it. We can call attention to it. But at the end of the day, we can't do anything about it that is going to have some sort of significant impact. Like, oh, they're not going to look and go, oh man, there's a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers out there that are like really upset about this because they believe that this shouldn't be happening. Like maybe we should stop. You think it's going to stop the Frisbee hat people from trying to create a greater nation for them, like expansively? No, absolutely not. Zaxi, what's going on, brother? It's almost playoff time. Almost playoff time, and neither of our teams are going to be in it. So, yeah, we'll finish with this this clip here.
Right. I don't think they admit they officially have them. And you know who was a big opponent of Israel getting nuclear weapons?
JFK.
JFK. Yeah. That's what a lot of people think led back into the left.
Oh, yeah. Before they killed him, who? I don't know.
So the Iranian Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all remember that one president we had, JFK? And how he was removed in Minecraft? Oh, I said there was another clip. Shit, my bad. There's actually 2 clips. I'm gonna play them because I don't give a damn. But who knows? Maybe he was removed because there was certain folks that just didn't like what he was saying, and now he was gone.
I think that's one of the things that they were just attacking recently. Like we were dropping bombs on them recently.
I don't think we're over there doing that for ourselves, though.
Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it's in our best interest.
I mean, at least they're acknowledging that much, right? Like it's because it's really not. I mean, I thought this whole Trump election was going to be no wars, right? What was Trump saying? We've never gone to war in my presidency. I told you we would. I'm a keeper of the peace. I offered peace to Iran and they didn't take it. We had a little black Dorito that went over there and they removed. Oh, that's right. Didn't that black Dorito remove the nuclear threat? So what other George W. Bush lingo are we going to throw out here with WMDs? Right? We going to hear that? Oh, we can't use that same expression though because that was probably copywritten by the W. Bush administration. So here we are helping out another country because we're shoehorned into doing it for them.
Why do you think then what is it that like Israel holds over America that we do those things?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of people that donated to the Trump campaign that have significant influence over him.
Yeah.
That lobby for Israel.
Right.
And they're very beholden.
So that's just capitalism then, right?
So IDF uncovers Iran.
I don't think it's capitalism. I think that's I think it's a way to chokehold Trump into doing things for them, to have some sort of power and sway over his over like this decision making, right? And yet here we are.
On missile megacities.
I don't believe anything they say.
It's hard.
Yeah, so I saw this and I was like, all right, number one, this looks like it could be AI. Number two, I don't believe this is true. I saw another video today. I haven't had a chance to look into it too much, but I saw that. And please let me know if anyone out there has looked into this. Please let me know. But I saw that Iran apparently struck Israel with some missile. So I forget what it was called, like the FATH-100 or 300, whatever it was. I don't know, 1,000, 9,000, whatever it is, and destroyed 40 F-35s that they probably got from us. 40 F-35s. Now, how much does an F-35 cost per plane? Apparently, as of 2024, 2026, the average cost for a new, so who knows if we had, they were new F-35s or older F-35s, but they vary, I guess, per model or per variant, excuse me. They can range. But it could be $82.5 million. It could exceed $100 million fully equipped and combat ready. $100 million per plane, and they just and Iran supposedly destroyed 40 of them. Those are our tax dollars, y'all. If true, right? Allegedly, I got to use the Joe Rogan word. Allegedly destroyed. So I don't know if that's actually true or not, but Busha was a great night. Maxwell Job Friedman is trying to drag you into another foreign war. If you asked me tomorrow to play some PS5 or spend Saturday afternoon protesting with like 500 or 100 people, yeah, let's load up Warhammer. True that. Weird how so many people in charge there change their names to sound less Eastern European. Oh, I know, yeah. And listen, you could call this a hot take, but I've said this a couple times. The actual Jewish people of like Jesus's ancestry, were born in that land, still on that land, were never part of Eastern Europe. In fact, I actually have an article from 2023 written by an Israel law firm stating that the Palestinians that are currently there are actually Jewish and actually not the Palestinians from the Battle of David versus Goliath. Completely different. So, yeah, there's some sus things happening here. I watched Rogan religiously since 2012. When CNN went after him and turned his skin yellow for his views on COVID, it hardened him more to the right. Understandably, he questions the right less now, which is true. And I had watched and listened to him maybe starting in like 2016, and like really got into his podcast like every day from like 2017 up to pre-COVID, and then obviously I haven't watched and listened to it as much, but I'll still watch clips, or if there's like a certain person on there that I want to watch or listen to, then I'll do that. But why is this guy black and pixelated, right? He didn't say no words, he said no long words. Well, even then, this seems like it might be a bit of a longer war than it had anticipated. They've had influence since initiation, since they were given that land, thanks to the fucking Brits. The one thing I'll think about Alex Jones is Joe said, boy, how much shit did Alex warn us about a decade ago is coming true now. I agree. Yeah. People, dude, I don't know if I could do the Alex Jones voice. Yeah, listen, I was always talking about it. This is true. I said that shit was going to happen. I told you, Trump will actually go to war. It'll be a long war, but you know what? People say it wasn't a war at all because it'll actually end in the escalation of the year. And Trump will say it wasn't a war. This is actually what it decided was happening to be. I'm kind of retarded. Now my voice is shot. Well, is it not a religion? It's kind of like saying you don't have to be a blood Christian to be a Christian, right? Because anyone can be a Christian. Because you convert to a Christianity, because you convert to religious Christianity. Technically, the correct terminology is being called an Israelite, because those are the people that were born from Israel, and they were just called Jews from the biblical context. And for people that, and I'm not going to get into it because we're almost going to wrap it up right here, but if people think, oh, you're just spewing a bunch of shit, Nick, you don't know what you're talking about, my guy, listen, I keep this good book right here on my desk. I read it every single day. It is a great study Bible. And actually goes into the land from a historical perspective. So, it's actually good when you have and do the research instead of spewing shit online that people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, and I'm not saying to you, Jacob. I'm just saying the other people out there that say those things, they don't know what they're talking about. Rant over. Best way to decredit someone is make the world believe they're crazy. Yeah, sure, an island exists. Stuff happens to kids. Yeah, sure, rich people write. What a fantasy, right? We can't call it a war because that would have involved telling Congress, and that group is full of traitors. 100%. They would give up American plans to our enemies to cause disaster and then blame Trump, which is probably, dude, in Bush, that might actually happen. That might actually happen. We're not even, we just passed a year into his term. So we've got a long way to go still, y'all. How are those gas prices, by the way?
Hard to know, because this is all AI, right?
No,
Is this real?
it looked like it was, but
Is this real?
honestly,
This looks AI.
This shit
some
ain't
of it
real.
does look AI. But
This
that
looks like
video
AI.
of those guys walk right there.
Yeah,
Looks real.
it's so hard to.
And see, that's another problem, right? If we're going, oh, we're gonna report this video. Like you guys are showing fake news. That's not real. That's actually fake. This was also a fun one.
Even Bill Clinton said that about Netanyahu. Bill Clinton said Netanyahu wants war so he could stay in power.
For sure, dude. People call him the yarmulke Hitler.
Never change. Never change, Theo. Never change. Yo, Rosty with the 10 banger going. Michael Schellenberger was on Rogan and simply asked him how he thought Trump was doing. Okay. Rogan said it was a loaded question and dodged it. What? Old Rogan never would have dodged a question like that. Yeah, limp rose for sure, dude. Like, what do you mean he thought it was a loaded question? You could have just said, I think 1 year into Trump's presidency, he's done some things that have been good. He's trying to cook things up. Like, I saw a video today that was kind of talking more about how Trump might be playing a longer game and actually, might have something good coming, which I don't know if that still remains to be seen, but because it's like, yeah, we've lost, we've lost, well, gas prices have gone up, so we've lost that, but certain things are still expensive, right? Ground beef is still expensive. Yes, some eggs went down in prices, but I mean, inflation is still around, right? I guess the whole tips thing happened, but what about the credit for people who are having credit issues still, right? Wasn't that supposed to happen? What about the housing market? I'm trying to find a house right now. It ain't easy. Even living in Florida, ain't easy. So, and I haven't watched this video next. There's one person that I've actually been very keen on listening to lately. It's been Tucker Carlson. I think I really appreciate the news that he's been reporting. I haven't watched it, but this new video that I think just came out today called "Trump Announces the End of Global American Empire, and Here's What Comes Next." I saw a little video about this earlier today that was kind of that same thing where Trump is trying to, I don't think the correct word was destroy, but it was more so reshape and then make the America that we should be, us Americans should be having, like what MAGA really is. It's like we have to, in order to build it up, we have to reshape it, and at that point, the newly looked America will be what he's talking about. But in order to do that, we have to go through all these things, and like, yeah, people aren't going to like it because it's bringing us into war. I don't know if that's true at all. That remains to be seen. But Rossi, thank you so much, dude. This one's for you. Keep roaring, my dude. It already happened. Swalwell, Schiff, Millie, Pelosi, they all sold us out trying to remove our president. Oh, for sure, dude. Working sucks. He's doing just like nearly every president did before him, not following through on all the campaign promises and going to war. Why this surprises people is a mystery. Yeah. But dude, yarmulke Hitler. Ooh. I almost want to clip that. Just this part. Then I'll play it for Leon. We're going to listen to it one more time.
Bill Clinton said Netanyahu wants war so he could stay in power.
For sure, dude. People call him the yarmulke Hitler. That's what they call him.
Who are these people?
Everybody does.
Which people?
Countless.
People?
Huh?
What are you saying?
What do you mean people? You talking about
What are you talking about?
black
dog?
folks? What are you saying?
No. I don't know.
Why didn't Joe Rogan laugh at that? Like,
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Let's not draw conclusions.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He seems like a great guy.
No, really.
No.
at least he's like sarcasm. At least he seems like a great guy. Not really. I I think this is the last clip.
What do you think is going to happen? You think we're going to be okay?
I hope so. Of course. I don't know.
Do you think about it?
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon.
Yeah. There were people that were like, nah. They're not gonna do that. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. You're right. It wouldn't be prudent, but yet here we are. I 100% knew they were gonna do that because they're looking at the bigger picture of country lines. And more people are dying, and no one is talking about it. But at least Theo is. At least Theo's going on a popular show like Joe Rogan going like, yeah, guess what? This shit's happening. People didn't expect this. Well, certain people didn't, but no one's talking about it. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think some people are. I've heard like one or two like other content creators talking about it, but the masses aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to supposedly they're trying to stop the terrorists.
Yeah, that's crazy though. If you're the fucking terrorist.
Fucking A, bro. That is a mic drop if I haven't heard one, dude. Like he just was like, oh, what T words? What T words out there? What's up, Rex? Dude, that might be one of the biggest fucking based comments ever. Honestly, yeah, and like you think, oh no, he's just high on, like, you know, these antidepressants are making Theo saying crazy shit, because all the clips we've just watched, this is the most sane and based I think Theo has ever been. Europe's whole infrastructure counted on the guarantee of free passage through Hormuz, unpaid for by us. Yep. Venezuela softened the blow for us a bit, but Europe will have to step up to solve this. Right. And I don't know if they will, though, which is the concerning, right? Theo is a registered nurse for real. I mean, and the thing about it too, the way he says it, like there's this like conviction, like he's saying it not as a question, like wondering about, well, maybe they're the bad guys, like, you know, are they? Like, no, like he's seeing it at this face value and going like, you know, how can you say that there's you know, people in these innocent buildings and so forth, like in plain cities that the you know, terrorists live in, and then they just start wiping out, you know, these areas, and then it's like, oh, but we gotta take care of the terrorists. It's like, I mean, it's kind of like what's been said before, like, oh, you know, people who are committing genocide were, you know, ones genocided against. So, you know, if you're committing that same thing, how can you be called the good guys when you called the people who did it first are bad guys? So, the double standard is very, very relevant here. But I'll go back. I want to hear that one more time from Theo, because my dude's fucking cooking.
Like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to supposedly they're trying to stop the terrorists.
Yeah, that's crazy though. If you're the fucking terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stop them, fucking stand in front of the fucking mirror.
Fucking A, dude. That, yeah. It's like, oh, I want to stop a bully, right? Bullies need, you stop picking on me because you're a bully. But what if you are the bully? What if you don't realize it? Maybe stand in the mirror. It's like, you know, like, oh, you're the asshole. Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, maybe you should go look in the mirror and see for yourself. And then you stand in front of the mirror and go, maybe I was the asshole. But we know that's not going to happen. Mirrors don't exist for the IDF or whatever they're fucking called. Every 10 years or so, sometimes 5 years, it gets cleaned up a bit and it becomes a mess again. Pretty much, dude. I mean, listen, I think I commend Theo for doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's saying the quiet part out loud, and especially for, you know, where I don't think Joe he dodged it, some of these questions, right? Like again, like allegedly. But you can't dodge these things for so long, right? Because more and more is becoming apparent, and whether or not Trump is actually playing some sort of 4D chess, even though like I think that expression is just getting played out. I do think I do think that it's not going to stop. I think it's going to keep continuing on. You know, if you aren't aware, the Army raised their enlisting range. So I'm not even out of the clear yet to enlist. Not that I'm going to, because fuck that. I love my country. I've had family members that have fought in previous wars, but not for this. This is something I don't support. This is different. And I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it. But I think you have more value outside of doing that, fighting something that's pointless. But listen, I do support our troops. I do think the people that were already enlisted, that have already enlisted, are there for a good purpose. I hope those lives aren't lost. I hope our men come home every battle, every patrol, every mission that they go on. I don't like seeing American lives lost over this shit. I don't. It's like my parents, my family had friends and other family lose their lives in Vietnam and in the Korean War. And it sucks to hear that, but especially as we're kind of getting closer to Memorial Day, about 2 months away, right? But has Iran not been a funder of terrorism worldwide for years? Yeah, exactly, for decades, for sure. Like Iran's that regime is not clean by any means, right? Like, but kind of like the same thing. People have to suffer for it, and we know too. Like the United States did some heinous shit back in World War II, but there was a difference back then, I would argue, or even in World War One. Like, but that's why things like mustard gas are off the table now. You can't use that shit. But look, I think at the end of the day, we can only bring awareness to these types of topics to ourselves. And I don't think this is stuff that we should lose sleep over. It's kind of like how Theo says, do you not think about this stuff? Like, do you think we'll be okay? And I think that might be a loaded question, because like, how are we going to be okay? Like, how, based on things that we have zero control over, and we never will and never have, how is that going to affect our daily life? So maybe tomorrow we're okay, but a month from now, maybe we're not. Maybe a year from now, maybe we're not. Like, this is just something we have to live our daily lives on. And I think if we get so high strung over it, kind of like Blue Collar Loser was talking earlier, like, do the things that make you happy. Do the thing, like, live your life, right? Watch the things that you like to watch and play the games you like to play, read the books, hang out with your friends, your family. Do the things that you have control over, that you can enjoy while you're here. And hopefully we're all still here, in the years to come, and we don't get dragged into some dumb fucking war. And then like there's a draft, which, it's kind of like how people were afraid of like this civil war happening. Like Tim Pool saying, like, oh, we're definitely going into a civil war. Well, guess what? We're not in a civil war now. So, but there is this, conflict going on over with Iran. And even though Trump makes a comment saying I'm done, we're done moving, doing things for other countries now. It's time to put America, like, it's been time to put America first, Trump. So let's stick to that. And I'm a big fan of George Washington's farewell address. George Washington was a visionary. He warned us not to get involved in foreign conflicts. Now, granted, yes, World War I, World War II, a different story. Other wars never should have been there, but here we are with lives lost. History made. But we should be helping ourselves. The amount of money we've sent to other countries, like America could have been in a far better place than we are now, and could have been. But I thought crippling the Iranian regime was supposed to neutralize Hezbollah anyway. Yeah, we were. You'd think so, Rex, but I guess not. I'm gonna be pissed if I get drafted. I tried to enlist, and those mofos wouldn't let me. They didn't let you? Why not? I don't know how old you are, but I mean, I feel like especially now, you'd be like in that age range, right? But that would suck. It's like, oh yeah, you try to enlist on your own volition, your free will, your choice. We're gonna deny you. But now, we want you without a choice. Feminist during a draft, but I'm just a girl. Whatever those lyrics are. Yeah, well, equal rights, right? Sorry, chicks. And anyone else in between. I don't think a draft will work like they used to. People don't have the same subservience. I think a draft for anywhere but our own lands won't work. I would expect some pushback. I would expect people trying to get out of it for sure. But who knows how far that'll go and how long that'll last, if I'm being honest. But hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully we don't see a draft. Because I know, we have friends on here that would fall into that age category, and I would not like to see that happen. Because like, this is a good point. My friends got rejected from the Reigns because he had a minor under the influence at 17. Interesting. Yeah, I figured you said Marines. But it's like, if you know someone who gets drafted, that sort of changes your perspective a bit, right? Because then you're wondering, like Isaac. We know Isaac's young. Or Waylon, right? If they got drafted, it's like, man, like, we're here talking on the internet, and if they're overseas somewhere, it's like, you start to think about people like that more. Like, fuck, well, I haven't heard from them in a while, hoping they're okay. And so it's like, but God forbid something happens, and it's like, well, those are the things that kind of change people's views and perspectives. So like, I totally get that. But I was on ADHD and was on probation. I could have joined the army, I think. Probably. And I just take some medication, no? For ADHD. What's it called? Adderall, right? I agree the US has done a ton for the countries only to get taken advantage of in return. 100%, Jake. Like, we get taken advantage of. Yeah, like, us, it's just like, I'm tired of our tax dollars going to shit that we have no control or say over. Like, yeah, use our tax dollars to better our towns, our roads, right? Like, our fucking water system, our sewage system, like, things that matter to our daily life and affect us. Like, those are the things that our tax dollars should be used for. I'm okay. Yeah. Like, I'm okay with having like a good military that we use to defend ourselves. So it's like, don't poke us. Don't poke the bear. Because, we've got more shit than NATO combined, right? So, more importantly, a draft doesn't work because only backwards countries like Russia, North Korea, China, et cetera, depend on conscript armies, right? Exactly. A Dick Tall. My best friend was a radio recon marine in Iraq. He said, something, holy shit, that he feels that his PTS was not worth it for that war, that pain out to be nothing. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Like, um, a lot of people came back with mental problems, less limbs, right? Scars, um, that I don't think was worth it, and especially if um these Marines, these troops feel that way too. Um, see, they would, but a lot of people who are who are of fighting age don't have any allegiance to the U.S., let alone on behalf of a foreign place. Um, yeah, I would say you'd have. I mean, think about Generation X, right? Like they probably have no real idea, inclination about what's actually happening, what sort of truth is out there, or the truth that they would be fighting for, and especially with these people that don't really appreciate the United States of America, don't really care for it, and like how we care for it, um, and see it for its value, and a lot of people, a lot of younger people, take it for granted, right? Um, and then they wouldn't understand. Sorry, yeah, not Gen X, Gen Z. My bad. Gen X knows about that. Gen Z, my bad. Yeah. And I mean, I'd dare argue some millennials as well. So and again, that whole draft class definitely wouldn't appreciate fighting for the United States. And then when they go, oh wait, who are we fighting for again? And they go, yeah, we're defending this country, blah blah blah. Like it's, yeah, you have fun with that. You have fun with that. So, um, but I would say you'd probably see people trying to create as many excuses as they could, but I'm pretty sure, Rex, that uh they now stated, I know I shared this somewhere, um and they now stated that even if you have like a misdemeanor or something like that, like with like marijuana, it's fine. It's fine. You could still join if you were under the influence and were arrested for marijuana or something like that. So, um, I just think they're just trying to erase some of the possibilities that people they could look at and go, or how many people could we potentially draft, right? They're gonna look at a number and go, okay, well, what if we removed some of these like parameters like that they wouldn't be able to get drafted for or enlist for? Oh, okay. Well, um, a lot of people were arrested for marijuana or being under the influence. What if we removed that? What do our numbers look like then? Oh, okay, they increase. Potential numbers, obviously, right? So Gen X and Zoomer weapons seem pretty based. Yeah, there are a good bit of millennials that are trash. I will say. Vast majority of current military are Gen Z. Don't confuse retards and quit with actual people. No, for sure. But that's the thing. I'm more so speaking to the people that would get drafted, right? So not current military that are Gen Z, but people that would get drafted that are like these TikTokers, these people out in California and like the other democratic cities that hate America and fall in that range of being drafted, right? Um, those are the people I'm referring to, not current military. Like I said, current military I appreciate and I thank them for their service, right? Because I believe that they're doing something right and fighting and protecting our country for the right reasons. I am a millennial. Majority of my friends are literal communists. I do live in California though. At least you're one of the smart ones in Cali or X. But I feel I too am a millennial, and have friends who have some very liberal views. They get washed out pretty. Oh, that's the thing. Like we would have to rely on the smarter, more toughened version tougher part of our troops to defend for us. because I feel like the weaker crowd would definitely get washed out and dealt with relatively easily. They wouldn't stand a fighting chance, even if they somehow. I don't remember if you were to get drafted, would you still go through basic? Is that still a thing? Or are they just gonna, here's a gun, go have fun? I don't know what the current process is, but absolutely. Anyway, we'll find out what happens. I know this is a weekly update for a lot of these janky topics, but you still get basic in schooling depending on what you choose. Okay. Listen, I don't know if Gen Zers that would get drafted, not the current military, right? Obviously, because they're already there. But some of these weaker individuals, I don't know if they would be able to get through basic without like dying. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe some of these Gen Zers need to get toughened up like that. You know, maybe they need to have someone, you know, yelling at them and toughening them up. My oldest son is a millennial, but he was brought up on the Gen X way. Hell yeah. True that, Draconis. The drill sergeant yelled at me. I don't like it. I want to go back to my TikTok scrolling. Yeah. There's only one thing to say about people like that.
Bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here.
You tell him, Jesse Ventura. Anyway, listen, guys, this was fun. I had a good time here. Appreciate everyone watching. 2 of mine went in the Air Force. Hell yeah. Grandfather was in the Air Force from World War II. I almost joined the armed forces after college. I almost joined about I was 27. And I was leaning. I would have gone towards the Air Force over anything else. So, because that's where my grandfather was. But helping pass by my shift by, if nothing else, dude. Thank you so much for it. I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, like I think I'm gonna try and do some Friday afternoon streams. I don't know what I'm gonna call these segments. Nick in the afternoon. I don't know. I'll figure out something, but I just wanted to talk about things that I don't have time to make videos for. It's like obviously I could have divided 4 of these segments into videos, and then but it's easier for me to kind of talk about them live organically. And I appreciate everyone chiming in and like getting and hearing your thoughts, and then just responding to them honestly. It's a fun way to do things, and I guess I could still clip things into videos, but all nicked up. Or the lunch lift. Oh yeah, I like both of those. Hell yeah. Nick before night. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Nick at night would be Thursday night playing video games, and then going into the Friday afternoon session. Yeah, Nick before. My staph infection could be used as a biological weapon on the battlefield. It's exactly why they can't use you. Rossi is too much of a weapon. Oh God. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone tuning in. You guys are awesome for this. This is a lot of fun. And like I said, Fridays are usually my easier days with work. So this definitely avails the opportunity for me to have this sort of fun and create this sort of content. So I don't know what's streaming right now. Actually, I know FNT is about to start. So So if people want to tune into that, by all means. I don't know who else is streaming. I think Erwin's streaming or something like that. But but yeah. Next week I'll probably try to aim for the same time. I wasn't trying to start at noon, but I actually had a meeting at noon. But I think moving forward, I'm gonna try to aim around like 12 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Eastern, and then go from there. So, but yeah, we'll figure this out as we go along here. And the Nick Nooner, a quickie with Nikki, FNT as drinker. I did see that, yeah. So, I don't know if should I raid into FNT? I don't know if that really matters or not, but I am JT, dude. Appreciate you, brother. The think tank, yeah. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. One last flex. I'm gonna eat some food because all this talking has much furnace process. Yeah, we're at 955 subs, y'all. 955. If you're watching, if you're watching on X, I appreciate you X watchers out there. Go to YouTube, just quickly sub, and then you go back watching on X. I appreciate you guys. 45 away from hitting 1,000 subs. And trying to think of some ideas once we hit that mark. What we'll do on stream or something like that. Maybe some giveaways. I don't know. But I'll try to make the best of it. And see you guys on the flip side of the weekend. I'll see you guys Monday night. We're talking about Ford versus Ferrari on Masculine Mondays. Cannot wait to talk about that a beast of a movie. So I'll catch you guys then. And clip the one I'll play on the way out. Be men.
Now you're a man, 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 man.